I'm joined now by Dr. Christy Flanagan-Fedden with the University of Central Florida to answer this question: why can't a woman be Pope? It's one of the top Google searches right now as we continue to follow the papal conclave. Can a woman be Pope?
In a word, no, not as terms as the tradition has taught. So the primary reason for that relates to the concept of what's called apostolic succession. So the Catholic Church explains that Jesus designated St. Peter as the leader of the apostles and the first pope, and this granted him a special authority and position. And so then this leadership was passed down from one generation to the next. And so each pope is also the Bishop of Rome, and each of these bishops is regarded as a divinely inspired successor of Peter. So, of course, Peter and all of the 12 apostles, and of course, Jesus himself, were men. And even though this has been something that's been discussed and debated subsequently, if you go back to an apostolic letter that was written by Pope John Paul II in 1994, specifically about this issue, he also upheld the teaching and said that, again, this was divinely inspired and that the church would not have the authority to change this tradition.
Can we see potentially in the future, maybe, this being open to women?
This is something that's established through doctrine. So this isn't just regarded as a practice or something that's conventional, the way that it's been justified, and also understanding, papal authority, such as that letter that was written by John Paul II. I mean, this is regarded as, a divine law, something that's divinely inspired. So, personally, I do think it's unlikely that the Catholic Church's, that the stance on a female pope could change. It is theoretically possible. In order to do that, though, this isn't something that we're going to see right now, because there would have to be another process that would have already happened. There would have to be a process where there's an ecumenical council that's called, and that would require a significant discussion and debate, and there would have to be more theological consensus among a number of bishops around the world. This isn't something we're going to decide right now. And just to kind of put into context, when you think about, well, what would it look like to call such a meeting, of that stature, of an ecumenical council? These are things that are really rare within the Catholic Church. You really do have to go back to that letter that was written in 1994 by Pope John Paul II, because it's regarded as infallible. And he said specifically that the church doesn't, have the authority to elect women as popes. With Pope Francis, even though as Pope, he upheld this, he did leave a tiny bit of the window open. There was a lot of attention that was given to a TV interview that he did in 2024, where he said that the possibility of organizing a meeting of bishops, to discuss this should remain open. At this point in time, that would have been something that would happen prior, to the conclave.